Hi, my name's Sam O'Neill. I'm Head of Bridging at Clifton Private Finance. We're a whole of market brokerage. I'm here today to talk to you about bridging finance. Lots of clients have questions around this, and I'm here today to answer some of them for you, explain the process and how it can be of use for you for residential, investment and commercial purposes. Bridging finance is short-term property finance secured on your property, similar to how a residential traditional mortgage would be. A short term is defined as somewhere around the 12-month mark, and you will need a repayment vehicle in place, which will be referred to as an exit before you can get access to the funds. Let's cover the most commonly asked questions by clients, regardless of if this is the first time you're looking at bridging finance or you've got a lot of experience. We'll cover here everything from lending criteria, eligibility, time frame, process, common uses for bridging finance, as well as overall cost. A bridging loan can be used for a variety of purposes, some of which are as follows: downsizing your property, purchasing a smaller property in value prior to the sale of your current property, a chain break, perhaps your buyer has pulled out but you're still required to purchase the new property. A bridge would enable you to be able to do this. Buying an unmortgageable property, a property that's not at the standard that a traditional mortgage would require. A bridge would allow you to purchase the property, refurbish it up to that standard, and then refinance to repay the loan. Buying a property at auction. Typically with an auction purchase, you're required to purchase the property within 28 days. You simply wouldn't be able to do this with a traditional mortgage, however you would with a bridging loan. Paying off an interest-only mortgage that's come to the end of its term, which needs to be paid off prior to the sale of the property. Similarly, paying care fees. Clients are often required to pay quite substantial care fees whilst their property is being sold. Purchasing a property to flip on. What I mean by that is purchasing a property, doing some renovation work and then selling on for a profit. Because of the short-term nature of the funds, a bridging loan would be a perfect use for this. How much can I borrow is probably the most commonly asked question we get as advisors. It's not a straightforward question to answer because there's so many variables that come into account. However, that is our job, to understand your scenario from top to bottom and put you to a lender who's going to maximize your borrowing potential should you be looking to borrow as much as possible. Typical timeframes for a bridging loan deal to complete are anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks, with an average being 3 to 4 weeks. We have, however, completed deals in as little as 7 days. In terms of process for a bridging loan, it's very much like a traditional mortgage, just expedited. The underwriting is taken care of a lot quicker. Lenders will offer online valuations, sometimes joint legal representation, which just means you use the same solicitor as the lender, amongst many other USPs to make this a lot quicker to meet your tight deadlines. As you can imagine, this is going to be a case-by-case basis. The cost is going to be dependent on a number of factors, rate being one, how long you have the loan for being another, and your setup fees. Broadly speaking, setup fees are pretty similar between lenders. You're likely going to be charged an arrangement fee by the lender, which is generally 2% of the loan size. You will need to pay a valuation fee to a third-party surveyor, as well as legal fees. In terms of rates, this is going to be dictated by a number of factors. Loan to value, which means how much you're borrowing in comparison to the security you're offering the lender, as well as other factors, location, credit, amongst many others. You certainly can get a bridging loan regardless of your income levels. Certainly this is going to be case dependent, but for example, if you're selling a property to repay the loan, your income isn't going to be taken into account as thoroughly as it would if you were remortgaging to repay, for example. In terms of the rate and how much you can borrow, it's going to be dictated by the specific issues you have and certainly how recent they are. That being said, there are plenty of lenders who will take a commercial view on these sorts of cases, and there's definitely going to be something we can do to assist you with this. You certainly can get a bridging loan regardless of if you do already have a mortgage. These are referred to as second charge bridges, and they simply sit behind your current mortgage provider. The two most common repayment methods are refinance of the property you've secured on, or sale of that property or another property. That being said, repayments aren't limited to just these two repayment vehicles, so anything you have as a proposal we can take into account and see if there's a lender who will take this on board. You should use a specialist finance broker like Clifton Private Finance for a variety of reasons. We have access to market-leading and exclusive rates, the speed of which we can transact the deal down to our knowledge and expertise. Also, the relationships we have with lenders also sets us apart from other brokers, and certainly doing something directly as a client. Finally, we do have many testimonials whereby clients have been let down by the brokers and we've managed to do what they weren't able to do. The process of applying for bridging finance can be broken down into the following 5 steps. An initial consultation with one of our qualified finance advisors. This is where we understand what it is you're looking to do and send you indicative terms of what this finance might look like. You then would move to a decision in principle with the bank or the lender. This confirms with them that they're happy with the terms we've provided with you, and in principle they're happy to lend you the money subject to valuation and legal work. You then would move on to evaluation of the security property or properties, be that online or physical valuation. Once the valuation has been done, solicitors would then get involved. They would transact any legal due diligence that's required, including any searches on the properties. Once the solicitors have done all of the legal work required by the lender or bank, they simply request funds and the deal is complete. If you're considering bridging finance or you have any further questions, you can contact us for free, no obligation consultation with one of our qualified bridging finance advisors. Whether it's something you need to do or something you're purely considering the possibility of, we can make it happen.